Anay Matthias Sembia may dream who am Tias and be a own so dream who I want Tias, but if it happens that way, Nanka a bay a nijisam papa na. We be able to say pay then a Mattia me Sementias and dream one Mentias and of course Stop TV Ghana. Now what to say you're a Kennedy a company good Japan. Don't wanna add no madrine say. Sir Kennedy Ebeye Franca 2 for the man and paper. I want him say definitely will be ye and a bedi children and the running mate. Na eno na dodo na wo connected no say Kennedy akompre ko Japan nipa miensa enna wo mo enida omanim nipa miensa ena omani eda omanim say anka Kennedy enya won fa sa nipa miensa yi emu baako enye ne running mate na mienu aka no won pe position kase pa emfama sa nkrofo yi ebra wa ba ba Ghana mampeni na dia wo mo edi kan eboye eye mateme ho papa oh UP Alan Kodo Kyeremanteng Alan Kodo Kyere enna wo mo tere se nka wo mo de wo mo do Kennedy akompre ko Japan nti se Kennedy akompre ko Japan be ye franka to for the man NPP anka wo mo besra da wu sanka wonko na wonko fa Alan Kodo Kyeremanteng emfa ne mra party no sade wa hye bose wo ba wo de nka bomba ba na wo mo atwo mo free party no mi na wo besa akwa mi na ba no Enkolo for tere se ya tena so pam mu apia nanso no de wo besere se nko ba wonfa Alan Kodo Kyeremanteng emfa enye ne running mate anase na abedi ekire na wone no entusa no na nkunimdie ebetimi aba emfa woni se waten ho akwakote ne party no wo ma ogidie se wono ebe franka tuni edman PPA na se Alan na abedi ekire and the baby get connected na enwati na wotre se ukwa yewura kufu ebusuam so yewura kufu Ghana mampeni da je kufu ukwa na ebusuam a yase kufu baba bi o na kufu baba bi obaba bi o na Kennedy akompre ko Japan wonyi no as running mate adeta kufu baba bi na wo mo trese Kennedy akompre ko Japan be ya wonyi na as running mate o na kufu baba nso de na se wo ba ne ho ofe pa na running mate nzamu ya ekosoi eno achi ene wo san bodin foforo na busua ensam no mu wa na mu ode jebre na yenkonkotie kakra emra
kana dwen no be fa Alan Kyeremanteng unu sa Alan de onye minipa be mpese Kennedy pick Alan for the vice president na ofa kufuo baba no de ne beye ne
sezi Alan akote ne party na obefa no say vice president
oh emfa ho odi no wo point take it from me media mi susue no so opportunity Alan so se nipa mienu kra no wo ma odiom beba me ma piki nipa miensa Alan Kyeremanteng your friend say Afoko ena kufuo bage na ye Kennedy adamfo no on peke sankofo miensa fo mundu position kese bi na minim say Kennedy bitimi aye more than president bi what challenge and I want to Kennedy say onu obe opese obiti Kwame Nkrumah legacy o kano ana monteye Omani the first person contesting.
He should have been looking for strategic investors and backers. Okay, so by the time that it is 2-3 years with Akufo-Addo's regime, he would have had a lot of financiers backing him.
Now, every 2 years Akufo-Addo answer na sabotage Kwabena Japan because even in his second term, I understand say all that Kwabena Japan no pennies and Komunya the chairman Ghana Gas who said then. You know, I said this whole Afoko, ne Kwabena Japan, Aluta, Omufi party headquarters. And then Omufi bastardized them and made them look like evil people. And then Obi was Sikakra, they sponsor Kwabena Japan, they are sponsor because they removed them from office. Now it's Omi and Nipabonia, Moyo Omufi. Until Enya Akufo-Addo stage this whole branding struggles for Kwabena Japan, as they say, or he's more qualified than Nipa Akonyina is one of the most experienced people among them. But attracted the kind of Sikane be pushing the campaign. President Akufo-Addo in particular,
You see, politics, politics is a self-interest game. A self-interest game. And the one who a specific interest over here. And you must protect your interest. And people who think that they want the interest you want will do everything to sabotage you. Our politics, and see, only an experienced politician Except you should always be looking at what can affect you and what cannot affect you. So ultimately, it is true. If you ask me the way they were treated, they were unfairly treated. But you know, what have been done to them? If they had had a good strategy and leverage on it, they would have used it to attract sympathy to rather become a real threat to those who did that to them.
Okay.
But I believe that they were so embittered that they didn't look at it as in the middle of all this pain, any what advantage when a woman met me happy?
Sir.
Who was strategies, sir? We see, a junior becatcher say, I did see the money how only and then it sounds bad, but you better acquire A, B, C, D, so I'll leverage you on it, man, have advantage.
Yeah, young sympathy votes for that. Young sympathy supporters. Yeah.
Put my here. And then for me, you know, I felt say they were unfairly treated and they felt so embittered. And as a result of the bitterness, you know, they didn't look at the sport that they can look at and take advantage of the situation to their own benefit. And for me, you know, I want to feel say they missed it because in a party, there are so many aggrieved people in a party. Obi o yaman appointment in appointment man on penti o aggrieved onimu do o abemu. And it's if you focus on those kind of things, now you are able to project yourself as obi aya victimized you unfairly, and therefore no who feel say those who did that no except party no etimi party from say mamu aya victimized more. You'll be surprised that if you leverage that very well, that and you can never financiers subscribe about site. Because there are so many financiers or my financing party man about power or my business no ebu because expectation say Benya be from Abemo in terms of contract in Yama e dey achi omo kano abai ba no ebi no capture all the opportunities. But still or one or two business be wa sika kakre free mu aba. So what is say also your treaty will say and as I say no person will take advantage of that opportunity. Na Benya leaders Sani Pano will be sympathetic towards you or better finance you. Okay. So in all things, say experts know what I'm looking at. This is a negative thing, but there could be a small positive somewhere. How do we leverage on that? Anything I make us say, if you hire the right people around you,
the politicians they are moving to your delegates instead of helping the right people. Exactly. The right people. Yeah, that's what they do. Elvis, among all, who is likely to win?
Well, looking at the MPP after Edubahin era, I think that when they have a flag bearer, they've tried to keep the flag bearer. Secondly, Dr. Bawumia as a person has a certain advantage of likability by people. Dr. Bawumia naturally, among four penasem, Adentia, Ghana for was some GDB say, Ahumbrasie a very important attribute of a person. Debia Mikate President Mus crafted him as the be Ahumbrasie and Kabia want to be Akufado in an election. But me did that attribute of President Mus or Wabotre, President Mus or Ahumbrasie played to his advantage against President Akufado, the candidate at the time. And I believe that Ushe candidate anymore. But Umiawe device they are not still some attribute of say or a humble no. I have always said this that attribute of humbleness no has played a lot of roles in our politics. It is to be what that characteristics not contesting an election except usro sanepano. And I think say largely the party people will go in for Bawumia. Ken is the biggest threat. But see, Ken in that firepower mode, no. And for the brave, I better about Phyllis Ken at or Munaifu one way or the other. Either through the pronouncement or some action somewhere. And you know, for some of those people, they may not want to vote for Ken. Not because they don't think that he cannot become a good president, but because of personal scores on other issues. And you know, I think that Bawumia being on the ticket for 4 times, twice as opposition, twice as vice president. His network as a vice president has also affected a lot of people within the party. That in his role as vice president, probably he's been able to help many people in several ways.
Okay.
And that attribute say, or a humble, Bawumia de Ojo, no. I think it has an advantage for him.
Okay.
Bawumia is not seen as Obia or arrogant. So Ghana say Ghana for say we are arrogant, how a problem. Whether it is true or not.
He had to struggle to check that image. He still is that.
Why that should share and not share African way. But before that time, you know, I was suit. But when they wanted to brand him for Ghanaians to see, say, Papa will only arrogant, no, they have to do certain things. And if you look at Ghana for that perception, say, sometimes, as I say, sometimes they are completely wrong. Sometimes you are only assertive. Sometimes you are only assertive, but they see it as arrogant. And then if you look at all these characteristics, no, it will give Bawumia an edge over the rest of the country. As I said, the race is a Ken Bawumia race.
Okay.
It will give.
If Bawumia gets it, 2028, Yabeko NDC there. Does he have a chance, especially this issue of okay, say about 2024? There was this issue of religion. Say Ghana no, largely need Christopher Ntebia no man pay cremo for. Other people have used it against Bawumia. Ebi Moses say no for vote in Bawumia to me and Famba, and that is what caused even greater Accra capitals. Kumasi Ade. People are saying that the candidate Bawumia could not bring the Zongo vote. Something, if you look at the statistics, it's not entirely the case there. Because there were some Zongo votes that Bawumia was able to bring. But people have said all that. Bawumia, can he get anything for MPP? So, we need prime minister, so 2028, can he win?
Obisania, there's nothing called religious vote. Okay.
Okay.
We will go to a pure Christian constituency, and the candidate is a Muslim. The MP is a Muslim. How did that MP win? The religion is the cause.
Okay.
How are Muslims winning seats in predominantly Christian communities? And if it will be a Muslim, you know what me winning areas like Christopher does one. How then do you want me to believe the religion play? And the religion is saying I can no Muslims should have won in anywhere where they are Christians. Something must here. And sometimes, you know, I am on my now material meaning and credit. And will be because honorable Agyapong constituency no OJ and this year first year no. MP no a Muslim.
Yes.
Muslim.
I seen Central.
Yes, the panel of the constituency was MP a Muslim. South Masia. And the fixation on religion. You will see a time. They didn't catch us. Ghana, how elections are decided by the performance of government of the day. Ghana for in fact what is happening to an opposition.
Okay.
The Ghana for are dissatisfied with a government, they will vote you out. Because they will be at the say Ghana is kind of crap. And it's any point now, and your opposition about the yaman, and buy soil. So pension and your opposition say they are buying soil. Every problem in Ghana is solved by government of the day. And the people will vote against you, they say, now me to Obama buying with some solve problems A, B, C, D. 4 years and not 8 years later, no. Oh, one to me and say me too. And the opposition party can be in disarray and will come to power simply because the Ghanaians are not voting based on the performance or the state of opposition party.
Okay.
As a verdict on the government of the day, whether they believe that Gabon or the Wayne and
okay.
The Nana say, and this is we me one of the biggest threats I mean who said ever face you this promise of 1 job 3 employees. 1 job 3 employees is the one of the biggest threats to them in 2028. Because they see they are lamenting. Nanu Akando say For your calculation now, they say there are 74,000 health workers are yenya mfa omu yo one omu say yenti omu ko mu nka ho de yenya mfa omu ye kra no into ono ye calculation no ebedu 2028 no sabaya to me anya some big money and employ heavily ebedu start time no na adwene ne say health workers in kwada will be unemployed will be about 180,000.
What's the health workers? And one say you negotiate with other countries and export them.
But they have not been able to do that effectively yet. So lazy
Ejuma because I'm buying beer UK for health workers. Other countries, Australia per health workers. Some confirm for Philippines, near other places, Indonesia.
Grenada for Prime Minister by President Mahama in the agreement. Some of the next is for the call. If they are able to do more of that, there. But when they are Akano, they are the Ghana payroll. And never yet you must say be employment Ghana there. Say buy anyasika kesi bia e be 2028. Maybe health workers in Kwan that may be unemployed by 2028 will be over 180,000. Health Kwan no education mile, pharmacist mile, so many others a mile. And that promise say one job, 3 people no. And a lot of unemployed people feel say something significant is going to happen. Nukura woman say something significant behind to me see or employment in Ghana. Okay. And because apparently to me had that kind of money to recruit such high level of people. Because a nipa every school afibian endorse.
That brings me to Mr. Adako. That brings me to NDC. You know, say I can Bawumia. They say he's likely to win. Ken is the biggest threat to Bawumia because on what time to pay one shall obey defense against Bawumia. But I share this issue of whoever comes out of MPP never be facing NDC. Say NDC ni him say and either Haruna Idrisu or Julius Debra or Yenyem says say don't get so far the World Cup. He's really in a subtle way campaigning. Say don't get ya. And sana omabo ato force in Sweden. But surprisingly now President Mama talk about Oba. I say he's eyeing Professor Jenano Pokwadmai. Do you see that whoever comes so bet me face but in first and foremost, who is likely to emerge from NDC?
NDC race no, a very tricky. So we catch our next one the Obem Imedia Obwa. Imagine no. The entire about the son said, see, President Obama has only 4 years to rule. And by 2 years into the administration, one will be a person president to be able to unity openly. Sekobanisa now government get distracted. They may suffer seriously in 2028 because unemployment issue there. Until send a minute will be a next teachers no. Yet to me agreement we bet me a ship or more abroad. But said Ghana payroll there. They bet to me a fan and to me for him here. They say to me any from abroad amount one. Those who will be unemployed and will be saying, say, what that because we one job, 3 people, and we thought will be many. And they say,
then there more pressure on the so
more pressure, so. And a lot of projects on Castle Bayano, Nukrani Nami, a bad thing. Ghana Sikasentin Abiano. So the catch say, we are going to do so much massive projects. It's going to be difficult. A bad thing. They say I transfer IMF. You bet from May 2026. Now you be a public person no kakra. But public person no be no. It has consequences for the economy itself. And you know that
there will be pressure on NDC.
There's going to be huge pressure on NDC. I see the only light NDC bet to media BB if they focus seriously on the prosecutions. And want to me achieve some acceptable level of convictions. Now, man, for I say, one neck in crano, one now, when you are buying Sicano, want to be the Bodona for 2 prison. Sekoban Sandia, that will be the lighting pointer on bet me Jinasu at the head from campaign. But a lot of the things Ghanaians are expected from NDC, the public person. Revenue generated and they bet to me aban. and ever a kit for the next 3 years now, Kano. And we can't do much in terms of projects. Roads.
If it's a gold board, Sika any other Sika, President Mama Mo Pushi, Wako Saudi Arabia, Omu negotiate Japan, Nina Bakra still.
Gold board. Oh, yeah, dear. But gold board now, can. We have to do the accounting well. Accounting is the way you say. Say gold board $1 billion. And now even for the $800 million, then they are got good. Now I got tongue, not on ya 900 million. Now there's a profit now, but can say 100 million. And see how easily expenses in every man in the backer. No, I found the same money as I had better good. No, I found the accord. And the 8 billion I say year so far. No. And the same money in the year recycle. The question is the profit margin you're saying.
Okay.
And the gold board now, yeah, canning in Ano. Yeah, the same capital base and no more recycle.
Okay.
And the one they are recycling the same capital base and no more autonomy the same scabas and the they acquire. We should be focused on the profit margin they are making.
Yeah, not just numbers now. Yeah, they to abon.
Not just the numbers. The numbers are the only reason. It makes sense to say.
But let me push you on Professor Jenano Pokwadma. Do you think I'd likely say President Mama best swerve Omo ayabo mudi ne say don't ketia because people have said say don't ketia General Secretary Saudi chairman they BMT na upper president. People have even gone as far as to say that say don't ketia presidency there to bo e wode enya olaya diule mu na ye chairman no council of state chairman kra no aye na enya presidency. Julius Zeba people say he's good but experience is shada ni ho ato forcing people say he's good experience ni ho and a finance minister Juma no say one succeeded there will be no justification to make him the candidate. So for how they do so na meus and comfort cannot and passing guy experience in the war but not so comfortable because President Mama for northern sectority the presidency cannot go back there.
It doesn't matter. See, some of the arguments among for I mean sometimes you have to be clear. President Mills offering for central region, Anamibwa. The vice president offering for central region.
Yeah.
Jenana of the central region. Later Accra, they've never gotten a vice president in NDC or MPP that. The NDC has been winning the election with that kind of formula. And in this formula, can't formula, but let's look at the statistics. If those things matter, why will NDC present Professor Moss from central region and Mr. Atta was from central region?
Yeah.
Jenana is from central region. Does it mean that the other regions, no, and this is some of these dynamics, no, because let's use the empirical evidence of amount, but Obia or for China. Look, I said, look at your own. It could be the biggest threat in the NDC campaign. The anti-American said, so I who say, obey anti-establishment candidates. Now, one man party for the CSA. One no a client for person NDC book money and fast and to the two Mama Kwa, Yemfa or mind man on over book or money client party for pair. It can be the biggest threat to all the rest. Because the rest no more abemu. And it's a man ko here. Now I said look at that and I just say obey you do that against more abemu. Because I said look at that is a strategist. Just another bit for some. Just look at the campaign he did. When the so-called tape was set to be a leak tape, the comments be okay, almost don't want to say a leak tape. And a leak tape, they don't want someone for say a leak tape. As I'm not the enemy now, Pepper Sanya, or Muti will take next year.
Just say
so. And then I said, look at that one that Retina. See, it's a grassroots person and or a political animal. And they are not ultimately KG, the mood within the base, or to me gauge the mood within the base and write on the mood within the base.
Yeah.
The problem is I don't know whether he has financial backers, but if Asedukeja succeeds in getting sponsors, financial backers, he will be the one everybody will have to beat in the party. Because for him to be able to leverage on issues within the party and make it his campaign point, then you can't beat Asedukeja for that. And because he has been general secretary for all these years. Only information they bring from the grassroots. A lot of people can easily send him text message. People can vent their anger to him all the time. And some of
Onimobia weak point. Onimobia weak point.
A network over across Ghana within the NDC. On the money information. Meaning which of the candidate has that kind of network within the party base and grassroots. And the people should not underrate that. That's why I see. Maybe just who are underrated. I say you can underrate him if you know, say, we need financial backer. But say, you need secure phobia backing the candidature. Or no man for chasing. Because onya sika can one, not the kind of strategy no one. A bad demand on person contest no. Meanwhile, there are millions of Wakano. One boy, what there are
yeah, what yeah. A what I was thinking, saying, Corona Capeja, Mama, bet you soon as never animate no this way. There
are so many names, even Alex Mode and co all names are out there. So because everybody says President Mama everybody sees it as a level playing field.
Yes.
All go and play.
Yes.
It's the one here. 17 MPP aspirant through. It may come to end this time round. One on pattern Baba contest, no matter doors. And Obia become of your one calculation, the entire Philly say, on never to near Winama party. And the end this, almost situation is more precarious than the NDC. And it's a statistics and that affecting government's focus. Because a lot of the things will now be blame government for this, blame government for that. I told them to do this, they are not doing it. You understand? And then
especially from 2027, Econo.
And 2026, and on Mesha here. Often 2027 they do. On Mesha say 2026. By the third quarter of 20, I'm not for you on money plane. Because that president Mama Casa will move you. On Meka the Utama so because here. This is a ever party. So to myself. I said that there any paper one is car. I'm not this so kind of good. Or no. With all my information, who call 5 regions of the north are a very strong candidate up there, and all he will need is to get a sounding candidate who is also strong to back him.
Okay,
and they could be a threat to anybody. So what I say is that maybe I should get or bet me any advice and all kinds of things. So people are looking at who actually have some numbers and strategy that can move. In the NDC, I can tell you, say anybody here win. Yeah, can't want them, because the NDC a lot of things will happen now. One can government lose focus.
Yeah.
Because the things will decide that government Nakasano, Nipa Bebre they will wish to say they are on the opposite side because Mama and the crop for yes, you ever take you over.
Yeah. But just a quick one on Alan, new party. Would that also be a threat to NDC or MPP? Because it's Alan, why are you a full-blown political party?
Mema Canada, America, Alan won. Yet Alan has been a very powerful figure in the Fourth Republic in politics, especially in MPP politics and governance. Amma, on several occasions, the supporters, Alan there, Emma Penasem, Ghana for Penasem, already numbers never break NPP. Yet they can never be break. My United to say, oh, Alan dear. Oh no, NPP before Penasem. And then we see Alan as that stalwart figure in the Fourth Republican politics. That is who he is. Unfortunately for him, with all this, and Yamama for can brand the Wayaman in England. He had only 2 ballot papers and reflected. Alan had 32,000 votes, 0.28%. On the ballot paper, so the question is, Nipana can say, Ghana for do Penasem, Onomunia before Penasem, even NDC for the to Abamano, Emma Ebeto Abamano, Ebanesena on the ballot paper, the name was here to Abamanonia. 32,000 votes. Fawe never to Nana Kwame Bediaku Cheddar. Fourth Republic, Yanti Cheddar Kase or see or president or politics and now you will. About to a training and no oyin. na oyi na nim ko ye hu ni ntem o ye billboard na o de mask too so e no be wan nie emre obeyi mask ni say on na ka be say 6 months na ye to aba so ma say cheddar kwa aba to mu a cheddar na di third o cheddar BT Alan cheddar nya 88,000 plus votes 0.76% votes and he said Michelle Alan in the Fourth Republic yen nyina nim Alan uba Alan di Ghana baby obi ati Alan dinda
Alan Cat.
yen nyina or a stalwart in NPP or a stalwart in Ghana politics, but the data now ever out in 2024 elections which they say attributes are reflected into votes.
Alan has lost it. And
Alan there, I say, or fading out, or fading out. It is Alan party. Me makasa me engine this way nebuna. Now just as statistics we are. Ube wajin so ube kwa koka because you hold Dr. Beda someone from party okruma amfa.
Nana
Lusitano me kansa ebi ate we free NDC mu a ebi anka Mahama vice na kono edi man because he was so powerful and close to the top at that time. Oko form ni party amfa. Dr. Wekubo be fi NPP mu ko form ni party amfa. E ho papa ko si ndum a form party amfa. And the smaller parties in Ghana clearly know the history naturally say smaller parties really or munya adie e wo Ghanaian elections. And the vote now Alan Enya in 2024 say he is just part and parcel of that smaller party. And maintain this day and age, you know, obi person dey want to e question such situation. And Amaka say if cheddar for the first time no one buy. Now we be third o. ABT Alan I be third. If there is a prospector, I see it more rather with cheddar and his agenda rather than Alan. The Alan na 5%, 10% in the last elections are. And America say, why a political party there? Obenya more. Nana Agyapong Rawlings was the wife of former President Rawlings. Say you see Obi Nejuma Atachi and Mao Ghana ha. Obi has been found to Nana Agyapong Rawlings. 35 December movement. Almost every corner in Ghana. Why one project or the other under 35 December women's movement. And the new form of the party I say. Say a man in answer money way or no what touchy your life. It's a better man and obey a force. By a two abano, the party and consider idea. And one I mean can say for the few years ahead of us party, a bed is say third force be baby image. But then I become baby no. Assume each other for cafe shutter mayor tourism and creative administrator to become a now youth now. Omu di wechinu omu beka me ho na ebia wasa find other young people bia omu wo numbers not omu ba they could become actually the third force because
the same way I can say it again because it's not even to upper a first and shatter tourism I think Oyene to say running mate that can work.
They running the strategy
sensible enough to tap into that shatter, the loyal fan base, no, that person can cause serious havoc to NDC and NPP.
It's a serious issue.
And yes, sir, Shatta Nankasa himself, maybe he doesn't like politics. He can just turn himself into a movement and contest elections.
And can you imagine Shatta on the campaign trail? Nano rapaholic Kumasi Shatta do Kumasi fans only at the top of the annual. What's your airport?
Oh yeah, sure.
What video? What's your airport? Oh,
airport in the mihu yeah, airport in the mihu yeah, airport in the mihu.
So the Gen Z is wrong. I say, our mindset is different from here. Yeah, my men only here. The same here. Jimmy, I'm a bit too good. Gen Z for my junior is different. I say, young ones now, what you say, NPP and this, they want too much. Me imagine, I'm not going too much head. And they are almost getting to 100,000 in their numbers. It's almost 100,000. That's more than 2 or 3 constituencies in this country. So all the cheddar vote to share second. Once you do 20,000, 25,000, 30,000. And the Usha said that now person I said 3 constituencies be according to but constantly a youth, a Gen Z, younger generation. And it's all tapu into cheddar. Not tapu into somebody else be now or munu youth no, and who almost say age wise no. I say or me age mate. Nyama omo kanu no. I say no na ye Gen Z for no, ye neji ho. There could be the possible third force in this country. Because the youth no omo do papa. And don't one no I imagine say when this MP president yes mean you omundi because your aspiration na you want as young people now say almost to me fulfill it. And if they find solace say obi say na bedi be a message no kan no. I affect it. When time say anything MPP kra no. So we are smarter. They should go and review Cheddar's campaign messages. No mo hear nyama no kan ya. Ebema almost 100,000 people. Amano. No mo hear say is there something they are missing that they can craft to get such young people on their side so that Cheddar does not become a force?
Okay.
But
okay.
You say the Nyama Eliasi for now. After our generation, young ones no more bano. Okoka, you see UP tradition, NPP and then the who beside NPP for almost me NPP, because the UP tradition, they really found one. Why only 10% of it now catch them?
It's true.
And it's our tradition in Yamana more. Hey, look, young people, they are looking for what you have to offer them, not your tradition.
Yeah, they don't care about those things. Yeah.
They don't care about tradition.
Yeah.
You see, you know, young people know our mindset is different.
But Elvis, so this is a question. They said that Gen Z near there now who can deal with Ken. Or see what Elvis has confessed now. The Gen Zs identify with Ken Agyapong and will vote massively for Ken only if Ken wins the MPP delegate. Do you think so?
There's no evidence to that. That's what evidence. I'm using national election results. Me, I'm not using. I'm saying national election results. I'm using. Ken and stand in the national election man. Yeah, who that number? Me, I'm using that because Cheddar is the his first time in politics in Ghana. On the first time I campaign for person on Mampeni or in any level of politics, Cheddar on the assemblyman, on the MP, on the minister, on the on your campaign via Ghana. The first campaign is the opposition president. And I make a choice what you be a stalwart like Alan on the ticket. Obia now my say Alan the map and asem unomuni MPP for kwa penasem and for kwa betu man Ghana the Alan is likable candidate. Not Cheddar now we didn't give him all those attributes no. All those attributes are for Cheddar. But Kobara papers one OBT Alan. And then I'm using
more than 2-3 times the vote that Alan got, yeah?
Exactly. And you know, maybe the statistics in there, Kasa, can to now ballot near Twaba, who said, but and to say, I'll have the official statistics, no. I'm not forgetting your candy on Beckham. But, and the Okano, and young one, it could be somehow because he, Gen Z is no more banner. That firebrand type of Ken, no. But
then what advice is a Ken should not lose any firebrand, you know.
And they make the rebranding now.
Exactly. You must consistently follow that because it attracting you to the side. So giant,
rebranding no more Ken. Some Benya to say Obia like Baumia or Yahoo Brasiano. That is not the Ken people want.
Exactly.
The campaign team, I'm telling you. The Ken people want in Ghana is the firebrand Ken. Only attempt the DNA film, but on can assembly with that kind of feel, the firebrand. That is the member Gen Z for no. Akoni ho. But rebrand is like onusu benye ahumbrasia na. We were trying to model him like Baumia, but Baumia has taken a lead in that field. Onu on the advantage. Ken advantage. Young people say no kanu. Young people are able to comment Ken because honor assembly or can send it here.
Yes.
And the book is okay. Yenny attempted any film, but be that firebrand. I think that's how country be done. Since the last primaries, no, I see the branding to be like toned down. Many firebrand this are. I don't think that will work for Ken. Because the people now omu pen assembly, the quality omu pen with the firebrand.
Okay.
The firebrand. And the neighbor the canon. It could be true that the young people may go because what the young people like or do is that kind of talk. It's now called social media. The young people are out there firing left and right, center and back.
Is that? Oh, Elvis. Well, Elvis, article. Let's not try to get him. We were almost done with him, but my mama forced him joining up. Almost to share or move views. I don't know. Say Doomson Abeje Elvis. Aboswa. But we are praying say Doomson because Doomson the Nintendo Keko. But said the TB. But an appear the only Elvis a trace change Gen Z for no or more Ken side. Well, it's not what you are doing, but he's giving you free consultation. Into your Bianca, you be smart. Who Ken Tima, you take it. Second, the position there, can fame when you're organized because it's a firebrand. Maintain that minus the insults, minus at them, and you still become one. I'm going to let Ken be Ken.
Okay.
But let Ken be Ken. They are afraid the man time Ken. I said them the can tell you so. That is not Ken being Ken. Let Ken be Ken. Let him be the firebrand he is. Minus at them, Oh, one time I'm more good evening, Yakwaba.
Good evening, Sister Fia.
I'm my experience journalist, so I edit our news center.
The guy's submission, it has been fantastic. I can tell you, say, man, you can't come baby.
Oh yeah, I understand the game. Yep.
His submission, brilliant, spot on, and well done, well done. Also, he gave a very balanced view, and not really, I said, oh, can't favor way, and also can't favor way. So the submission wouldn't mean Kase or Bekama Ken or Bekama we no. He has been fantastic. We need to applaud him for the submission. Just fast forward. Yamra Masemso. I'm say na my comment. You made a comment to be about I don't know one I said what is it Elvis here. And the point about NPP there no said na last week can be so Ken, yet to say a cast, let's Ken be Ken, say, Who's the problem is a couple of days, Ken Ken emphasizing the issue of say, not
almost why MPP first on my game,
on this comment, But what we have forgotten is say if Ken that is the case here, at that time, was a meeting. And I can't NPP for being more you. And yet the whole NPP only paba could be now what say. Yes, it be a wabby leaky tape. Ama ubi. And this any paba kwa. Why do you insult the whole NPP?
Well, Ken what evidence saying any paba couldn't leaky tape because that tape became really a big deal.
Yeah, but I'm only emphasizing the fact say. And some be the reason people pray back to and ask you question and no because you are trying to portray yourself say and yes how they mom say nam or a video na he saying say or call baby no better and will be leaky tape the man. So the issue emphasis as not the conversation but it's about the leakage of tape and then nipa back so if even you ask yourself, or no in the home confines and onim komobiana, obeding komo, and we should have accepted that and it should have been measured. So okay, ebia me so kwaya me fa so kasa no. Sometimes the fact is say, oh pachawana so admittance might not necessarily be a friend is saying a guilty, but it's a bargaining chip for you to overcome.
Because admit say he was wrong in Kasano.
Yes, of course. Okay. I think that could have prayed good to him. That should be a name once or come back. Who defend it? That's a whole NPP there. Why say nipa back or beliki tape amount? I may have born the whole NPP institution, and with your matter. Okay, it's a fair question. At the same time, yeah, but to obey. Can it be said, Bray Champon, they are no okay. Bray Champon, they are no, so you know, free. About Rock City issue with Snake. And also say be pray back to NPP. A whole lot of issues. NPP for defend it. And you who free mu in the politics of the defeat of NPP. And the last week I was emphasizing about collective nature. Obia who the fought to say a body, the whole body and soul. NPP no and the bias you're ferry together. But what can you do? Reposition yourself. And for me, that is that now you can and now Professor Ayite, if the other question about free SHS. Or see, if free SHS was so successful, why did the NPP lose? Who was that? Who was your friend and say who was the educational minister or the education minister? That is a Dr. Aduchum. So you see the problems, you know. Who free anti communicators now or manage the various aspirants, you know. They are not helping them because the more now ube you who free mono and on the back creative problem now. Maybe the whole issues now cannot. Now you find a Dr. Baumia Dion. What people initially thought they say opacha no then force reno. But also you go internally now and kofua manabedia what a man kofua benya jidie bi woni mu say oh waji en inform so atumo so ye bone kura no ka ho a ya nyina ya inform so momfa nche. But then the question is yemfa nche mo de na mo pese mu ye bie mu a ana munye bie mu a. And that is also very, very key. Dr. Baumia, in order to emphasize that, you know, what the BB policy be to what say, giving the opportunity, you know, now obey some sort of a year bian, obey making sure annually, so obey president here, obey meeting the grassroots, you know, or no mobile discuss it to understand them. And one thing I would told to give them the assurance. Secondly, Wasadi at also be institute a welfare system. That welfare system also no.
And you feel like he's addressing issues now. Opposition, no?
Opposition.
You are. Okay, very
That's
well.
Correct.
Yeah, very well. Very well. One in town. Mama only have because
I sister fear where you must free. 3 minutes in a way you must free.
Oh, background, no. The time be my message do account because Elvis Ababa because when they you do me a breach. Good evening.
It's me chair Mr. Elvis pa and why boy mama in your
Solid.
No question, man. Because I'm one say issue of religion tribes and the personal opinion. Also research no only read the Afrobarometer report 2023. Almost say Ghana for 4% of Ghanaians they vote on religious and tribal lines. Or Afrobarometer report 2023. James Elvis say Uncle read the I will not for so personally no. Who say we effect. I was in Ghana during the election. Sorry, said yeah, my kind of platforms that also from the sort preaching say, when I go to Baba Muslim, I be. I may ask for 80% of Cotoban. If you don't have personal experience here, don't say it doesn't have any effect. Actually, secondly, so now say okay, say who was question say no, if you say no for being also when any problem, it not off, and then uncle attach here, easy region say. Who for free Easting or and there's no way say eating for Toma, Champon, no eating for Taba, and they are touching. Something away, and Mr. Evan Kuti or say, who for free Easting and a coy. There's no way it's a kind of for a person co Easting, no cover by Champon, but 2 amount of by Champon or Montoma, Baumia. You have some mammas who feel off. Bamas who we are and off beam. Those things, you know, intrinsic something uncle for more or mechanical. But then you some question on country, but or the way you must say once I call off, once a man call off beam. After my about positions. Position now will be I say a share responsibility, and your share responsibility. Even a share responsibility will be any rule or we are not economy so. But I'm not agree so. Kennedy know about Ghana gas. Ghana gas, you share Kennedy inside one Ghana gas in Jamaica, you see it. People should bring it out. Brian, I break no, then I wasn't call you one you lose it, people should bring it out. And about me as economy, no. Fact that when I didn't may lose economy, nobody can run away from it. That himself is kind of okay, or very emphatic. There, Ghana dear, who are Baymuno. No better than one position, any position party, no procure on your campaign. All mistake that Robocop, a dear mistake that a day before economy. One head of economic management team, anybody.
Okay.
There's no way say, if Anna is a Venezuela, can call Bungu and conform to my can buy the Omo. Photo Tom to my case, 0, and then they say, I'm looking never would war while I want to man while I had a way by say, Omuka photo, one phone to be and so I don't and the service by social media. War came go for say, or
also be lying and deceiving candle.
Womuka, I didn't the rules, but Umka, I did was what they know go to Abana. Was or a constituency chairman, or a chairman, on a campaign manager or to a very Northern regional minister mobile, so Mum Kai school, then be the Kai, and on ma or the Rumabo 100%. And Oka can campaign manager on zero. Also, we to my king, look at the photo image by online.
Okay.
In Yati anti-Reagan teams this time here, there's no way a book for boot. Yeah, more be quiet.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Vesu can say finally, say, Gen Z, you know, yeah, or man, a chairman Sabonsu, the bank campaign that you minister be about a campaign, or much second on Tom Tosino, or a trouble. The service say, or so who say, or more half, Gen Z no half, or one day you so or never, which
is statistics.
Who means that?
Statistics is showing Ghana between 80 and 34. No, out of it, the largest.
Exams in my side, make a journey. So, Afro-Bearing report, American religion tribe, as I say, or no statistics. No, the man, or best a year, or policy circle. Then one more on the man, almost was one more per young people for the 2 years, the Ghana for
representing the rest of Ghana.
America. Everywhere be our person research be on your bones, Ghana for no problem.
I brought here be our Ghana be a second.
Because I don't say 12 could be 80%. 50 plus 1. It is the majority, the present choice, the majority for pen a pen, and I can for him said the be about radio. You be a planter, you go in 37.1. I have been young for 40 years. About we hands down with us.
You breach me at you. But I think that my main part or more matter so that you can respond to all the issues. Go on.
Can say the fire brand nature no and agency for no way there. Rebrand no way no. Man attack on personalities, but that fire brand nature no man and I'm saying my can or continue and one youth no the agency will be on the Sanaman.
Okay, yes.
Yes, research. I cannot doubt their research. I also gave you examples. Say even Honorable Ken. On one constituency now, no or was now one copy with the president. The parliament, any one of MP was a Muslim, but say as in central a predominantly Christian. And I'm saying there is evidence to prove that there are Muslims who have won elections in predominantly Christian communities. And they are not so kind of saying, and I'm not doubting the Afrobarometer because I know it's a credible report. But I'm also saying the evidence on the ground also shows say. You can see predominantly Christian communities and MPs who have won there are Muslims. In terms of, or say, North, Mama, for example, say, NDC have never fielded a Muslim vice president. Do you know that?
Yeah, but they won the Muslim areas too.
They have always fielded Christian ticket. And they have won elections. So why is the statistics that it has to be this, it has to be... NDC have never fielded a Muslim vice president. Or a Muslim president.
But they always win the Muslim areas, no?
Your mama is from the north, but it's a Christian. Okay? Your mama of the north is a Christian. And the NDC, both their presidential candidates and vice presidential candidate, Muslim in Leo will take it Suda, a bit Sida. And a massacre said, Omafa, a vice president from Central Region, President Mills, Ama Otwasu be president. Omafa, a Central Region person. In the person of Misata, MOBD vice president, almost Alpha Nana from Central Region, MOBD vice president. And if don't look at only NPP alone, look at the entire political landscape. Say NDC, both presidential and vice presidential candidates, no, they have never fielded a Muslim Christian ticket, but they have won elections. It is the NPP rather who has consistently fielded a Muslim and a Christian. But they fielded Muslim and Christians and lost elections.
Yeah.
And they want to talk about the religious aspect. Like NDC should not win elections in Ghana. In the presidential elections. Because they are the ones who have never fielded a president or a vice as Muslim. NDC is yet to Ghana or a vice presidential candidate who is a Muslim. But they have won elections. So if you want to look at it only from the Afrobarometer reporter, I trust Afrobarometer. But the reality on the ground, they say, that which you are referring to in the report, a reflection in elections in Ghana. The NDC should never have won an election. But they continue to win elections. So you
is a praise so because somebody sent a message say Ken Foley, no, because NDC feel they allowed Mumuni in 2024, but they lost 2024. They lost. Allowed Mumuni, NDC lost that election. It supports the whole kind of support of this argument to make it. But Sir Prince, good evening. Sir Prince.
Yeah, good evening, Sister Fia.
Good evening.
Yeah. Me da sese wa maya kunya me chia me offer Mr. Darkon Elvis. I think send a submission very good. One thing I now work na me sheni dia me hu ni say ohwe bedi akwa de wo ye timi mani me nya third position is in line with Ken ni say o say bedi akwa yusu Kwame Nkrumah Kwame Nkrumah in his campaign. Kwame Nkrumah campaign during that time, and I said Kwame Nkrumah position during that time was about job. And looking at the current Gen Z in Ghana, sister, who can create the job? Who can get the opportunity for those kind of youth? So if you look at all the aspirants, even within the MPT, I'm talking in perspective of the NPP. Oshe NPP musisia, yeshe Brane Champon, yeshe Kennedy Agyapong, yeshe Bawumia. Omankasa, these people, no, the job traits, which person can be aligned this with? Kennedy Agyapong. That is why you to the even those who are not even delegating are still, vying for Kennedy Agyapong. And the next thing is about reliability. A candidate, when you are a candidate, you need to represent your people. Kennedy has been there consistently, being reliable to the delegate, the grassroots. Okay. Kennedy is always there for them.
And to point is winning.
Yes. So Kennedy has been there for them. And if the party wants somebody, then even after the election, Japan. And the next thing is about defending and straightforward. Also, Mebruna Yebana. As a penokre, but ye obi kanokrana ni niaje. Obi defendia ni niaje. So this is the kind of traitor a Mebruno. Any Genzino, yes, okay. Somebody who can defend us.
I will go back to Elvis as more kind because that's why he says, "Society can no mama ne jai kasano. Omun some strategy no. No mama can.
I think say Ken enjoy kasano. One thing I say Ken is more focused on his campaign.
No. But where he's coming from, it shouldn't just be focusing on your campaign.
Sister, no. The entire Ken, I focus on the campaign. Say in the previous campaign, any little thing Ken will come and respond. Any little thing Ken will come and respond. And let me tell you something. One of the strategy in campaign is the moment you start responding to Sister Efia, responding to Mr. Dakono, not that you are swerving from your main message.
Okay.
It is when we are Kennedy this time around, baby obekobia every constituency or focus on the job. Oh, engineer momo be Canada. And you know yeti. Say no, I'm done the akwede. Ako Brian so. Say Brian, anya lucky. On the message na and said your person waka. Echere ne man for more to abama no. Onka. Then we two man no. Now we are two man no. We say fertilizer and one farmer. We say me de buy. We say economy ni say. Now this time around. Kennedy Agyapong is more focused on his campaign. Okay. Job on any penny here. It's a job on why they asem chiro.
Okay. Sir Prince, I'm now asking Black Kwame, good evening.
Good evening, Sister Via.
Patrice you.
Me more about religion. Religion me did say a play role power politics. MPP MPP for the Biomo love any Muslim they say on say time a rolling time. All cash and comfort say a come for party. na kan for mo ebeje party na on be pam nordness na yi enti no from that time na wo nordness ni trim sa asantefo anasa kan for de omompe omasem enti ndc na po omasem nti in order to kill that perception and on decide say you be pair south and north enti na mo ye ne sa nya say what they say religion anasa but mo person mo kill that perception. But I think that right now, our perception may be a few, but religion still it plays role. Me treat Uber. 2023, no more better way. You know, if a woman be a war, if I live frequently, echo dance woman. Enti na me de ato I think say you are the same. You could see say, and I know more ka ho asem. And a woman say NPP form yom kofa ba umi ayanto. Nam say ade. No say yem pese a Muslim biabe. Nam say oh, na say Muslim and the emfa ho no ontimi impose na you say no still. Omo de yiba de ayanto. Oh nti say yaka say employ ra Ghana ha one thing is a hypocrite. Yes, I had my accounts in by a bab on tin e bebusa opinion. Obi an pese obede. Obe kanti sa nyemani na play robot. Ayesa oka na bontin ayase sounded even to
Mr. Sanet here the other na said Mr. Dakonke NDC omo fa cremony running mate da but they north omo wini zongo areas ni omo time wini adentia
aha ni tia etesa ne say on say time Rollins ebe ye cool woman no support ye other small tribes no at the time ye back constitutional you know no mo gina support e na wo mo dia hye Ghana fu tirim say akan form pe other tribes na sem
okay
what you say aha nti wo hwe NDC nordness na more than any other party
so mo de emfa ho de ombe omo ye kra mbo so
emfa ho omo hwe religion by NPP for na wo so omo tini kele say you know ntina mo e pe say ye fa south na wo say nord na e ka ho say na be ya betimi ya wini votes and no so aweki
eti be kwa me before be kwa mu sent MPP for dey why now for so betimi wini omo candidates no
candidates na dey say dey dicey Baomia our chance Kennedy nzu betimi enya chance because neti America say say oman kwaye omo polling station you can say elections first on koye we no omo vote dada na omo na esa ko vote enti e dicey baby minimum be a second round betimi abum
okay yo mama na ta kwa na ayata bra wa nkomo ye de ya da ti bebe Mr. Avis remember wa join say mama fa boss udi di say because we na abaso GA celebrity na abaso nti udi ni azazi no mebo mami ti o
yeah
good evening azazi eti o
in fact at this moment you know let me say a critical moment at the NPP party because Kenya yenim say or you very loudly to the point of Timika say memo or showdown see to read at this time no let me say me focus no more positively kind of campaign rather than say or be responding to negativity. So I think almost every day no we hear the likes of policies are opposite way are opposite day more than critics are or responding to any maybe jobs are a bit more exposed. You see, there are some critics when responding, it makes you vulnerable to the real opponent rather than the opponent now who are on the same party. Yeah, so I think that is the analogy Ken is adapting, and then it's really working for him because rather than that obi expect say onon bom na ka obe loud mouth no see what you say the gimmicks and then the dynamics in the politics no as a no, all of a sudden was reaching as a Obia who say Ken is now kind of a mature person in politics. Sebi menka say no nye mature. But you see there are some words or some critics when you are replying to the other, it makes you exposed to the ordinance acquire with Dabi. So you know what politics mo. Yeah, so Vim lady, shout out to you.
Yeah. But it also say no buano, a Boakan campaign.
Oh yeah. In a positive way, he's making it in a positive way because as a Obia yenim say Sebi usubanye yente sano ewo this time as a wafa afutuo yes as why Obia Sulia. All right. So that's my candid opinion. Vim lady, miss you so much.
Thank
all
you.
The best. All right.
Thank you so much, Azazi. Yeah, that's it, baby. Azazi, no. Also on the can I swear you be? I'm sorry, I'm Nana Kofi na me unye we no because I think I don't know. I can't pay you. Thank you so much for our time. No, Nana Kofi, Pacho. Good evening. Pacho, so microphone. Where do my microphone?
Oh, good evening. Sorry. Thanks so much.
I say over time.
Oh, me age, my back cruncher.
Me, I'm also social scrap, so I see that you are from work. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Dark in there was very thoughtful and insightful and intelligent way summation. But I just wanted to disagree with you a little bit. You know, in every democratic country in this world, religion and tribal plays a huge role in their politics. Take India, for instance, the biggest democratic country in the world. When it comes, any prime minister will win with his base, either Hindu or Muslim. When you go to the US, it's the same. Trump will win on a fundamental Christian alliance. The Democrats, they will always fail when it comes that. They will always look for an Irish president, Irish descendant as president. When it comes to the UK, it's the same. If you come to the area that I live in, Kent, they will never vote Labour. I'm conservative. Whether conservative they will vote. And they are also fundamental Christians. So they will never vote anybody who is a liberal person, who stands for abortion. No. Then that English as a whole, it is very difficult for them to vote for a Scottish parentage prime minister. Since their history, they've had only 7 Scottish prime minister, unless you are extraordinary charismatic. So when it comes to Ghana, for instance, you made mention of a friend saying, Mijima in Asin Central. Mijima, if you go back, Mijima, you see, he's an MP. And the MP does not appeal to nation. He appeals to his base. If you go to Asawasi, for instance, Munkata will win election and election and election. It doesn't matter if he was a Muslim or a Christian. The same with Mijima. Mijima is like a native of Asin Central. Agyapong was the only one who could have won. The moment Agyapong left, Mijima will win. And in Mijima crowd, in the crown, he's called David Barr. Remember, so some of them, they are not even as Muslim as you think. So if you use that as a basis for your argument, when we talk about the religion and then the tribal, I don't think that is a good argument. What did I say? So coming back to,
but how about NDC? They are not said they've never elected, nominated Obi Oye North Nana as a Muslim as a running mate, but they be winning Muslim.
Yeah, no, but you see, NDC knows the trick. Remember, you see, NDC is coming from a party that is called a PNDC. PNDC had the cadres. The cadres, most of the cadres, so they had a basis. That's why NDC was a party that was created to win election. They had the cadres from the north, from the east. For me, as a medical personnel, when I was in Ghana, I worked in Upper West, Upper East. There are some areas in the north that people, when I mention to people, even those one they don't know, like overseas, for instance.
Overseas,
you
yeah.
go all the way to the overseas.
Yeah.
And when
overseas.
we go to such places, there is no way MPP will win there.
Mm-hmm.
These are the people that the decaders, the CDRs, like somebody mentioned about a 31st December, they were there. They organized them. They were there, and so they are is part of their blood and their bone. And remember, Northern region is not a Muslim enclave. People think that the Northern region is a Muslim enclave. You'll be surprised.
Northern region Christians, there are a lot of Christians, assemblies of God, Catholics and assemblies of God.
Especially
Catholics and assemblies of God.
Yeah, Upper East and Upper West is more even Catholic. It's even now that they've developed like Savannah and the Northern, that you have a lot of Muslims. Even there are more Muslims in Tamale. But outskirts, Kushegu and the rest, when you go, even the Gonja land, even when you go the hinterland of Gonja, they are not Muslims at all.
Yeah, they are Catholics.
Yeah, they are Catholics. They are not Muslims.
A small percentage of assemblies of God.
Yeah, the reason why, you see, NDC are very clever. The reason why they will not choose a Muslim candidate, that they know that the demographics in Ghana, I'm telling you, Ghanaians, like somebody said, is the elephant in the room, but they don't want to mention it.
Okay, if we fast track it to MPP primaries here, who do you think says dynamics will favor them?
Well, see, when you talk about the primaries is about a delegate system.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? It's about a delegate system, whereby I mean, they are using almost the same system that favored the incumbent candidate. Okay. So it will be very difficult for the likes of Agyapong and the rest to wrestle the power from Bawumia. But see, the MPP are making the same mistake they did in 2024. Because I'm telling you, the Christian caucus will never vote for Bawumia. And you know what? There are some areas and there are some other, COS, that they know who study about Islamic fundamentalism. They tag Bawumia to Saudi Arabia. They tag Bawumia to Qatar. And these are the main sponsors of Christian Islamic fundamentalism in Nigeria. And people tell you that we don't want to be like Nigeria. We will not. And the only way that we allow what happened in Nigeria to happen in Ghana is when we have a Muslim president. So
you think says about me winning 2028? He can
NDC will win hands down. I'm telling you, NDC can bring anybody, apart from, unless the person is not a Muslim. NDC can bring anybody who is not a Muslim, and the NDC person will win. I'm telling you, hands down. But you see, it's like in Ghana, it become like a big elephant in the room. We don't want to talk about it, but it's a huge factor. It's a novelty NPP tried. I think Akufo-Addo tried a novelty to dispel that Akan-like party. But the thing is, it won't help. You
so they should let Bawumia go with the Akufo-Addo now come for fresh face.
Exactly. And so that they start on a clean sheet.
Okay.
Clean sheet.
Okay. Yo.
But they don't want to talk about it.
Yo. Nana Mamina say, I think they're very insightful perspective now. Also, they are Bermuno Senka or Mano. Mr. Dakum, I remember about one in time we will point now, person making a Mr. Dakum and fire and wrap it up.
Oh, thank you, sir. Mommy, snap your opportunity again. Steph, yeah, I have a second for Crawford. They are also refusing to accept something, and you cannot tone it down. But the difference, you only say, NPP is no more in government.
Yeah.
And because of the NPP is no more in government, you cannot attack NPP. And whatever NPP is doing against NPP now, NPP Bawumia group, another group, will come at him and tell him, say, you were part of us.
Mr. Dako can say the only person who committed me a fire Agyapong.
Of course, because you have gotten the opportunity to get and Kofo now is reviewing, say, look at the number of contracts within NPP. So when NPP was in government, it was difficult for NPP to come and tell this story because it will be revealing itself to the voters. But now we are all in the equal terrain. And
the system now forcing Agyapong is exposing
and that's what they are not. As a person, but me bow. I try my best not to go down that terrain because a ye party and to say can. Now I'd say you are bringing the party image into disrepute, and I would don't like to talk about that. But almost bad they fundamentally no my imagine say, oh, yeah, can for the yet to say. I'm telling you, who's an amema emphasis, you know. Once apart from such can a father say make creative job, no. Dear pan or dear two or quite best no make creative job, no. But we shouldn't forget about the fact to say the moment you be creative job, people also come and question and say, what crowd job now creative? I will see what creative no. You are not paying others. So where is your number?
Okay.
Snake even our data. A tracer who that number of people now will say what creative job no. That loopholes in your chance no more question now expose you know. And tisadia obey you know every ho. Now what reposition in the way say NPP for no and not to say other section to say Bumia camp no Emma may expose you know and that is the hypocrisy in him.
Okay.
This is the problem.
Well.
But me we no sister but we men but em say who can President Mahama say or Katisod or yeah near my baby.
Yeah, Takrady Road.
Yeah, finish say as of now we are you woman. Ghana is not paying our external debt. This is what you have.
Because yeah, domestic debt is
good, you know. And I'm bringing your mind to something. By 2026, Ghana will start paying our external
2027.
It's okay.
No,
so 2026.
2026.
Yes. It is started 2026 year. Technically, you know, NPP has only this time, maybe this year and next year to do something. But the woman to me, and already this year is ending. So they will effectively have only 1 year for next year. Then 2026, you know, I'm starting paying external creditors, you know. Sikana now, no, omo ebenya and kebi omo betimi aye bibi ano. It will go into what servicing the external borrowing, and that will also be cripple omo in terms of the way omo person now 24-hour economy, whatever. When we are and we understood say the need of say 4 billion. Or whatever now the ISR project. How are you going to do it? So
let's leave them to solve that problem. That will be their headache. Because at least chance no money. I think President Kufuor because of hip into a chance. They've got a chance. Say at least the suspension on amortization. So servicing of what now they take advantage to use it for something better. When you do it's on them.
Good. I'm just telling you, I'm not a person draw attention. Say they can say 2028, you know, a BNPP for whole bachelor on say, you know, that now 9 people for one bachelor NPP are smart intend to select their candidate early. So they will have enough time to now picky NDC near all these things and it will come to pray. See a mama can say opportunity say I to say I can say a mama a debt service in I am forgiving. It says a buy and a be a money bed. There will be time people will come and there will be the accountability and the one NDC will have problem. Thank you for
thank you. Time never could do Mr. Dako. Yeah, me too. Final like wrap up thoughts on a yin.
If you are religion and some amount for canon, people get it wrong. They compare Ghana to America, UK, and the rest. You see, the difference is they forget those parties they talk about in those countries, no, their political ideology, the message of is based on the ideology of the party.
Yeah.
Ghana, NDC, they have not actually preached the ideology to their people. So people don't vote on whether it's abortion or LGBTQ or whether borders should be open. That is not why we vote in Ghana. So the reason why people vote has nothing to do with religion in Ghana. Because it's religion that says abortion is bad, LGBT. So the Republicans will tap on that. The parties in the UK that are aligned will tap on messages, and the people are voting based on those messages.
Yeah, but now, also, Nana Kofi said refer who said people are very religious. For instance, okay, I said 2024, there were messages. I think Bishop Owusu and Sana exposed said churches platform where they were saying
and yet they are so better, and yet they are so better, and because now voting both and they better have something.
Yeah, but any influence cry.
Yeah, I mean, my example say a influencer NDC. They've never had a presidential candidate that's a Muslim.
Okay.
They've never had a vice president that's a Muslim. But they win elections.
Because of how it was formed out of
religion. So it has nothing to do with religion. I'm trying to tell you, religion is different from whether they have a cadence base. Some people are cadence based. What has cadence base got to do with religion?
Well, okay.
Cadence base is a religious authority, Anna.
No.
Say no religion. Anna me boy.
Yeah. Because they managed to make inroads in the religious area settlements.
There is nothing like that. That's what I'm telling you. Say a religion and the NPP back as a NPP a party. We are against LGBTQ. We are against abortion. We are against this. But in our political dispensation, they don't know the position of their party on those ideological issues.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Parties who don't talk about ideological issues in their campaign. It's the open religion. Religion is a result of ideological positions taken by political parties. And then the religion baby. But in Ghana, the parties have no ideological position espousing campaign. And how then does it bring in religion? It's cadence based. Cadence based. It has nothing to do with religion. And he did about religion. And he himself has admitted that there are a lot of Christians. In the idea maybe everything was having low votes up north. Everyone is saying. And you know, that's how people want to do religion, do the empirical evidence. The countries are already an example. They have made religion part of the party's messages because the message they preach, it aligns with certain religious beliefs. But NDC NPP, message when I'm preaching during campaign has alignment with religious beliefs. It's only last election that LGBTQ came. LGBTQ, NDC should lose the elections because NDC as a party, social democrat, promote LGBTQ all over the world. And the NDC have no business condemning LGBTQ because
they didn't condemn it. Yeah.
If the NDC is an ideology, people shouldn't vote for NDC for condemning LGBT, whether they are being hypocrites. Because the ideology they belong to are social democrats, promoting LGBTQ. And the NDC now made a U-turn from their ideological basis and they are condemning LGBT. How should they win an election?
Okay.
The religion issue back Ghana politics. It doesn't work because
dynamics here different.
You're more preaching among for someone to abandon. It's not based on issues that are linked to religion. It's not linked to religion. But in America, the Republicans will tell that abortion is their message. Using of contraceptive is their message. LGBTQ is their message. That's why the church in America will align with the Republican Party. Because church, is against all these vices. If the party here preaching and align, it is like the church in America doesn't align with the Democrats. But in Ghana here, campaign, it's how does religion come in? And people should stop confusing religion and tribe.
Okay, yeah.
The same thing. And it's not for a tribal argument. They should make it, but they shouldn't confuse tribe or cadence based with religion. And the same thing. And we have just that kind of confusion. And what?
But Mr. Adako, do you think that 2028 LGBT issue no be sound babium?
Because the the truth has been exposed. What they are saying already a campaign 2024. Akufo-Addo say me a private members bill into me signing. So what they are saying or just say or ma age and the parliament. Mama so on there vote to a next na or be signing. Ya to Obama na BBC ko interview no say bill no ko onim de e bill no. BBC bisa say by the contents of the bill, don't you know that it infringes on human rights? Some people know he doesn't even know the contents of the bill. And then if he doesn't know the content of the bill, they are not promised to be signed.
But I guess they brought the bill back to Parliament again.
See, Catholic bishops, echo the economy, or see or no as Mahamano bill. This is Attorney General for Parliament as an or be signing. And what's the difference between the only Akufo-Addo air position? What they are saying?
I say once and then you cry no person in some and say. Can I compare with Japan? Any people from woman yahu cry amfa amma yura kojo Kyeremanteng Alani United Party abedi enim ya One konkofa no na one fa nemra na one behye na nimunyam na one kan kyerɛ nsɛ mu apia wo nso wabo ani pipi am yokoro ntibra na medimeti na bibia enye kama emfa emanye ebusue medi di oduma nkomo ba na Kofi High Storm TV Ghana wada horo maba so a subscribe to a YouTube channel like na afi sign share ma fofra wo mu ewo echichiri ene benche ye medin mabo masan makraw